Well, it turns out pretty soon you're going to be able to buy your own apartment on Mars. And if that's not too far fetched, maybe in the distant future, but it could certainly be possible. Or at least they're making progress towards accomplishing that, because the Mars rover Curiosity just landed on Mars on Sunday, August 5th, 2012. Yeah, it turns out it had been traveling for 8 months until it got there, and it was decelerated by a couple of rockets, and until it slowed down to a safe enough speed for landing. And ever since then, it's been streaming pictures back to Earth, and even though there's a little bit of a time delay because it's so far away, and the average distance between Mars and Earth is about 140 million miles. So that's only the average distance. That's it could be much less, it could be much more, but you just have to take into account their orbits, their elliptical orbits, and the aphelion and perihelion. Look up those two words, aphelion, perihelion. But it has to do with the orbits of the planets, when it's closest to the sun and when it's furthest away from the sun. And keep in mind that it's two different planets orbiting the sun, so there's a lot of fluctuation in there. But yeah, it turns out it was slowed down by a couple of rockets and stuff until it slowed down enough to land. And like with other prototypes like the Pathfinder and others that have gone to Mars, well, the pictures were just as the pictures I saw, and I didn't see that many pictures, were kind of blurry and shitty. But that's because the computer on board, which is kind of surprising, is far less powerful than an iPhone. You'd think that with all that money they spent on that thing, they would put some kick-ass computer on that rover, but apparently not. I don't know. There might be a reason for that. I'm not bashing the NASA scientists, but yeah, like with other prototypes, when they land, the rockets slow it down, and then there's like these airbags that inflate with a chemical reaction, basically like the ones you have in your car, but these are much bigger. That they basically inflate instantaneously, and they surround the whole craft, the whole rover, until it lands. It basically bounces around until it stops, and then no matter which way it stops bouncing around on the rocky surface of Mars, it can unfold itself and be like upright and just start circulating and like moving around and stuff. And they said that the other prototypes, they rely on power from the sun, with they harness it with solar panels. And sometimes the solar panels, this is about the old ones, and it's probably the same for this new Curiosity. The solar panels get full of dust, and they stop. It blocks the light, so it stops collecting light, so it goes out of power. And they rely on something blowing off the dust off of those solar panels, so it can keep operating. So it can get power up again. So that is pretty interesting. That's like cutting edge of science and technology. But yeah, I'm not sure where they launched it from. I didn't actually research that, but there's only a couple places they could have launched it from, right? There's like Houston, Texas, and there's like Florida, and that's pretty much it, I think. But Cape Canaveral, and it's got to be one of the lower latitude places or in the United States, in the continental United States. Florida being the state that's closest to the equator, that's the one they picked, and this is for a very valid reason. It's because if it's closer to the equator, uh, the Earth is spinning a lot faster when it's closer to the equator. The closer to the equator you get, the Earth spins faster. Um, so whenever you're gonna launch one of these rockets or space shuttle or whatever, it gives it like a very significant boost, which will be, if you launch it from right from the equator, it'll give you like 1,000 mile an hour boost, which you can save on fuel. You can add that to the fuel savings and stuff. So that's about it. But it was pretty cool. I'm still waiting for the upcoming pictures that Rover is gonna send us, and who knows? One day we might even go and live there permanently, or even one of its two moons. Which Mars is about 2/3 the size of Earth, and it already has two small moons. They're much smaller than ours, but it's got two moons, Phobos and Deimos, and yeah, those moons could even be habitable. If Mars is, it's cold as fuck. Yeah, it could be. And in those pictures, there might have been, they're looking for microbial life, or maybe multicellular organisms, jumping around the surface of Mars and stuff. There's like these huge mountains that can be seen on those pictures. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. And if there were to be little red men already living out on Mars, I will be the first activist to actually make sure that their rights are protected and upheld, and to not be, humans not be able to pick on them and shit, and violate their Martian rights. So that's pretty much it. You just always gotta keep that in mind, I think. So don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment, and yeah, stay tuned for upcoming videos.